Baconator presents
My Woodshop.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my woodshop. And today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building a swarm trap. And basically, I got a call from a lady who had bees or honeybees in her house. And she asked me, she said, is there anything that I can do for her? I said, well, I can remove the honeybees from the house. I also found out that she had a bee tree on her property. Well, with her having the bee tree on the property, I was telling her that she's always going to have trouble with swarms around her house and maybe them getting back into her house again and having swarms or bees in her house. So I told her what I can do is if she wanted to keep the bee tree, which she did, she didn't want to get rid of them, I can build her a swarm trap. And basically all a swarm trap is a place for the bees to go when they're swarming besides her house. Now, it's just a regular square box with an opening on the front for the bees to go into. And now this fits regular standard lag straw frames like it would be in an 8-frame or a 10-frame hive. Now, the smell of the wax and the smell of the honey that may be in the frames that I put in here is a draw for the bees, so that if she has a swarm of bees that come across her property from the bee tree that's on her property, they may take up residence or move their swarm into this box and instead of back into her house. So I'm going to go to her house. I'm going to remove the bees that are in her house along with any comb or honey or brood, and then wash the void that they are in completely clean of any evidence of there being bees there to prevent the swarms that come through the area wanting to move back into her house. And then I'm also going to put 4 of these boxes on all 4 sides of her house. She lives in the woods, so in a tree or something like that, so that if that bee tree swarms again, there's a good chance that they'll want to go into these swarm traps and instead of going back into her house. So there's what I'm going to be doing. So let's get going on that. All right. So what I'm going to be using to build these boxes, because they're going to be out in the weather all the time and it's not real crucial that they're fancy, is I have basically some old hardwood flooring from the house that I'm renovating, and I'm just going to take and remove the junk part of the tongue and groove that's been busted on either side, and then I'm going to joint the pieces together. I'll probably need 3 of them to get the width that I need to actually make the swarm box. Now, these are a standard 9 5/8 frame that are in these, and to tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure how tall I made this. Looks like I'm right at 9 5/8, but I'm going to have to use a couple of those, and I'm going to have to do a glue up on those to reuse this lumber. There's no sense throwing it away, and if it's going to just be outside, I'll throw another coat of paint on it, and it'll be perfect. So let me get started on that.
Now the first thing I'll do is I'll use my radial arm saw to cut them to a rough length. I use a clamp on the fence so that they'll all be the same size. Then it's over to the table saw where I'll remove one side of the tongue and groove. With the tongue and groove removed from one side of all of the boards, it's on to the next step. Next, I will run each piece through the joiner to give myself a square and true edge. Now the time has come to remove the other side of the tongue and groove. Now it's time to glue, glue, glue. With the glue up complete, it's back to the radial arm saw for final length, into the table saw for the final width. Now I need to cut a rabbet joint on 3 sides of the front plate. To do that, I will install a dado blade in my table saw. But first, I will disable the table saw's on switch. With the switch disabled, it is safe to remove the original saw blade. A dado blade consists of 2 outer blades and any number of inner blades stacked together. The more blades you stack together, the wider the cut will be. Time to drill the entrance holes. Don't forget your safety glasses. I mark and cut the lid to accept an upright that will be installed to allow me to strap the swarm trap to the tree. After a quick dry fit, it's time to glue the box together. I use clamps to hold the panels into place and an air nailer to secure them while the glue dries. Then it's time for painting. Oh, how I love painting. Painting is probably my favorite part of the job. It is when the job finally comes together and you get to see the finished project and it just looks so nice and everything is finished and it's painting and I just love it. It's probably, there's nothing more enjoyable than painting. Best. Painting.
I hate painting.
In between coats of paint, I head to the bandsaw and cut out the covers for the entrances. After sanding down the rough edges, they're ready for some paint of their own.
With the paint dry, I can finally put everything together. Well, there you have it. That's how I build a swarm trap. Now these guys are ready to be installed and hung in a tree and do their jobs. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm very new to making these videos, so leave me some feedback, leave me some comments. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what I should do differently, what I should do next. I've had a lot of fun making these videos and I'd like to continue. So let me know what you think. Until then, I'll be back. What should I do next? Build a door for my mother, build an enchanted book from Minecraft, or refinish 4 kitchen table chairs? Let me know in the comments.